And welcome back, My Hero Academia and Anime Lately fans alike. The gang is back together, and today we go back to the villa. My boys, Miguel, James, Sam, how did you feel about chapter 271? I dubbed this one Aztacular.
It was bootylicious.
Fair enough. Mm-hmm.
I thought this was a really good chapter.
You should have kept it going, James. God
damn
it.
I was hoping for Sam and James to continue. Like anything,
I
bootylicious. I'm like, come on, anybody got something else to say?
I'm not gonna fake it. If it didn't come to my mind, I'm not gonna fake it.
I get respect that. I respect that. Sam, you had something too, or you didn't want to fake?
I had nothing either.
Ooh.
Like James, I don't have one either.
Hey, at least we're 2-2 here, right? Like 2-0. At least me and him, we both tried. But
we tried.
But James, you were saying about your bootylicious day.
No, just saying. I thought this was a really good chapter. I was waiting to get back to this moment. When I was binging My Hero Academia, the last time we saw Tokiyami, Dobby, and Hawks was where I stopped. So that's where I got caught up. So seeing this come back now, I was super excited.
Agreed.
I was actually thought that like Fat Gum would allow Tsukiyami like go to that direction. Like he was just gonna use his fat to like help him like catapult him towards where Hawks is. But apparently he slips out and escapes from Fat Gum, which
has never happened actually.
Yeah, he said that.
It's an impressive feat. Like
he said that. Because he said nobody's ever escaped my fat, which is really funny because it's just so funny to think like my fat is just so thick that nobody gets out, which is hilarious.
And I don't think he slipped out; he forced his way out.
Yeah,
which is crazy. So it's like, oh, okay, that was a strength feat check in itself. And the fact that Tokiyama can just kind of fly now, still kind of wild.
And plus,
in broad daylight as well.
And plus, can we just take a quick second and just admire the cover page of Tokiyami too?
It's great.
It looks amazing.
It's freaking beautiful.
And like, I've seen someone on Twitter like made a comparison. He looks like Yo from Shaman King in the first volume cover.
He did.
It looked really cool.
I'm so sad. I cannot get that reference since I haven't ever read.
I'll show you the cover. I'll show you the
that's
cover.
your fault, but okay.
Everything's my fault, right? Everything's my fault nowadays.
Yes, something you haven't read is absolutely your fault.
Right? It's.
But no, I love that. I thought this was a really cool cover. I don't know. I just when you think about the characters in My Hero Academia in the class 1A, I did not think that he would give this much focus to Tokiyama, to be completely honest with you. He's making this character far more interesting and giving him much more connection to the main story that I thought he would actually get. Yeah. But I don't mind it. I really like Tokiyama. Tokiyama is an interesting character, and he's making him far more intriguing as we go along. He's got strengths, he's got weaknesses. He's not just this completely OP student. He's got his weaknesses, but he's learning how to deal with those weaknesses and make them strengths, which I like. It's good.
When it comes to the trio of Deku, Shoto, and Baku, I think the next one is either Tokiyami or our boy Ida that comes to the next, the main cast of Class 1A. It's how I see it.
I would have to think about that. I don't know.
But I would have to add one or two of the girls. So yeah.
But like out of the roster that gets a lot of shine, like to actually see our boy Tokiyami actually not really put up a fight, but also defend, also know how to have a conversation with Hawks at the same time, and also try to protect himself against Dabi, who's technically like a light user, which we were kind of right when he said that when Dark Shadow said, "Oh, the fire also puts me down." So we were right in the aspect that right now Tokiyami is in a disadvantage.
Yes, he really was. And Hawks was like, yo, have you noticed that he's talking so much? Like, we're not, yes, we are in a disadvantage, but he's also getting tired. He can't constantly keep using his fire because it's getting weaker and weaker. And that's what
Dobby made a really good point. Like Hawks he showed Toki, and I thought this was really strange. And I think it's because we've been reading other manga and I've been watching other stuff where a lot of the characters do their own thinking and they act on their own. And Tokiyami showed up and was like, "Hawks, tell me what to do." And I'm like, no, that's not how this works. You need to come up with. I can't believe you came up here without a plan. Is my first thing. I'm like,
at the same time, like Hawks is his leader, so he looks to him for orders. Like,
but that's like that means he hasn't learned enough. me.
That's the point I was gonna make.
He has not yet learned enough from anybody. If he went into a situation this dangerous, he put himself and Hawks in more danger by doing this without a player. So I was like, ooh, and Dabi was basically saying that to him.
Like he did say, like, you have to act on your own, you have to do this, but also like most likely it's kind of like how the way Deku used to see our man All Might. Like he used to ask him, what should I do? And
no, Deku has always been the one to jump into action and not thinking about it.
Yeah.
But he still does. He still springs into action. I still don't like that he jumps into action without a plan sometimes.
Oh, yeah,
but more often than not, Deku does have a plan. And that's why he springs into action.
I see what you mean though, Miguel. It's less of him asking All Might what to do, but he constantly thinks about what All Might would do.
Exactly.
And then tries to do that instead of doing it his own way, like he should as a hero.
Exactly.
And at least Tokiyami knows that he had to escape. He knows he's not supposed to fight in this kind of situation, this condition.
He was very smart in that.
Yeah,
he was like, we have to run away.
Well, I mean, he knows his weakness. Like he knows that is literally his weakness.
And he has to carry one other person with him to escape. So you can't really necessarily fight while protect at the same time. At this situation, you got to run or fly away in his shadow and everything. However it needs to be done, he needs to get away.
I mean, and technically, I'm gonna be honest. Technically, he lost this fight. He lost. Tokiyama lost this fight.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he did.
Absolutely lost this fight and would have probably died had this ice blast not gone off.
Oh, for sure.
Can we talk about that ice blast that completely just blew Mount Lady out of a building?
You mean he blew the building away, including Mount Lady?
I'm like, what?
She literally used a mountain. Literally used a mountain to take out a mountain. Mount Lady.
Basically.
Like,
basically what he did. And I'm like, this dude is way stronger than Todoroki. Way stronger than Todoroki.
And plus, our confirmation finally came true because we used to think that it was Natsuo that was probably trying to, go against his father and things. A lot of people used to think that was Natsuo, but now it's confirmed.
Did they really?
I heard some theories about it.
I think there were people who were guessing, thinking about it, or somehow related to.
Just because you see one
quirk,
Shoto somehow, it's like, look, that quirk is the same. Nope. This world is much bigger than you think.
Yes, it shows like there's other people with ice powers. It's not just one Shoto family. Not one.
There are other people with fire powers, and that's not just for one family. But who knows? It might be in this situation. But we'll see.
But this person looks totally different, and I think it's a guy, right? Even though he has long hair.
Girl?
I think that's a dude.
I think that's a guy.
Okay, yeah, me too. Because the face expression looks like a dude.
But the point I'm making is he can use as much ice as he wants and not freeze himself.
Yeah,
literally. So
but is that why he has the cover to warm him up? Right? You think so?
Potentially, or maybe it's just his style choice. Yeah.
Maybe. I think it's a combination of both because everyone's costumes double as support items, right? Because just like Todoroki, the suit that he wears also heats him up and cools him down depending on what quirk he's using. So
I wish he had a suit that cool.
Do you guys remember the fight between him and Dabi?
I do, and he completely outclassed Dabi.
Oh, okay. Because I was wondering, how did that fight? I was wondering, how
he completely outclassed Dabi. Like that was the one fight that did not go well for the League of Villains.
Correct. Because that fight was like a 60-40 because he was winning over Dabi, but Dabi had a chance. It's just that Dabi wasn't really putting too much attention or anything. So
Dabi had a chance, but then the dude used the water system of the entire town to beat him.
Yeah. So it makes sense. So this is pretty interesting. But I feel the most favorite out of this chapter, which like Ray's favorite character, Fat Gum, continues to be with us one-liners.
My boy.
Booty incoming!
My boy. That was that is my favorite panel, I think, from a manga, period.
It's just
I can't believe they actually put that into the manga.
I can't see it, but that's why it's
incoming.
Like, I'm happy
that's not that offensive. I feel like
but it just
it's just not, but I didn't see that coming.
Hey, James, remember we spoke about it on the podcast. We had a Chainsaw Man series having lesbians on the cover page.
Yeah, but this is My Hero though. Like they never go that route.
We had Midnight.
Do you think they'll do that in the anime? Do you think they'll use the same dialogue?
Sub yes, dub no.
Sub, yes.
We'll see.
Dub, no, yeah.
Yeah, I don't see the dub actually doing that. That's a big me because dub is done by Funimation. That's a whole thing. It's the 10% of the one.
I mean, like it's a difference between can you say the word ass on public and television kind of thing.
But in booty, I think is
Probably.
fine.
I think
booty is
great.
fine. Yeah,
Yeah.
booty is
So,
fine.
But
like,
anyway,
Booty
just
would've
to
been
clarify for people in the comments, yeah, Dabi and Genten's fight ended in kind of like a draw.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because they both got tired and then Makia showed up and ruined everything. So
Okay.
I remember
true.
that. That's what
Alright.
cut it short.
But,
So, but no, I just like this. This is the part that I've been waiting for. I've been waiting for the Liberation Army's like strongest fighters to like literally make it to the front line because we knew that they had some heavy hitters when they fought the League of Villains. So it's like we've been waiting on this, and it's like, yeah, no. We've barely seen them do anything at this point because they got taken by surprise. And so now they're going to retaliate and probably like block them off so they can make an escape at this point, I think.
And
Because
like,
I don't think
now,
they're going to beat them unless.
right now they have like a
Unless.
crack. It looks like from that one panel with the zombie dude and trying to fight with Gang Orca. Because it just needs to find one leeway of escape to at least have some of them to get away from like literally heroes have all of them surrounded. They just need one sort of exit so that everybody can escape. And now Gigamakia he's up and at him. He is ready.
Who said that he was just gonna kind of move on his own? Everybody's like, no, man, he's gonna wait for that radio to go off. And I'm like, no, he ain't.
No,
he ain't gonna wait for that radio.
I was so happy. Once I saw that, I said it in the reaction with Sam. Like, yo, look what we spoke at last week. This is where one of our theories that Gigamaki was gonna get up. And look what happened. Gigamaki wake up.
I love that we finally get that moment where he acknowledges Shigaraki as
not
master.
just that. I love that everybody else was waiting for him to move. They were all looking for him.
I mean,
to
he's
move.
the biggest gun.
But but the fact that they know that, they're like, well, if he don't do nothing, we can't do nothing. Essentially, is what they're saying. And they're like, now that he's moving, he's going to turn the tide, like energy-wise. The morale completely shifted when he stood up.
But it's funny what Ray said that he didn't even wait for the radio. No walkie-talkie. He just said, "Masters."
I could smell the master exactly.
Like literally, he knew that. Oh man, she can literally go. He
Well, I
literally,
mean, well, he's alive again. And
Yeah.
he is. He's loyal to what? All for one.
Yeah.
The cork, the original cork.
and just to see this actually happen, it's just insane. Like to actually see him stand up. I can. Like my hair gets me excited to see what happens next week, just to see what's Gigamaki gonna do. Is he gonna go rampage? Is he gonna walk and just beat up people? Or like, what's
I think that he really does wait for the command from Shigaraki, which will not come from radio, but from Shigaraki's mind.
Yep.
So
You think directly from his mind. Ooh,
I do.
okay.
I do.
Okay.
I think he's gonna be able to sync up with all of them and just be like, I'm awake and this is what's about. He's gonna like broadcast his voice to all of them. And everybody's gonna freak
We've
out.
talked about this before. The heroes will have to retreat.
Oh, they're gonna
Shigaraki
lose.
is awake. Gigamaki is on the move. Redestro's getting his legs. We're getting to see the
get my other legs.
we're getting to see the Liberation Army's
Lieutenant Dan of My Hero.
They will have to retreat. The heroes will lose this fight.
Either they're retreating or somebody's coming to collect them later, because they ain't gonna make it out the way they came in. Like we've known that this has been too good to be true for the heroes to be doing this well, but this is also the plan. Hawks knew that they had to get the jump on them to at least have some kind of advantage because they had way more strength amassed than the heroes.
Oh yeah.
And so far they did what they could, but I think if Shigaraki basically wakes up and he gets those Nomu and they get up out of there, they in trouble. Because then he has 3, maybe 4 still high-end Nomu and himself and Giga.
It's over.
Yeah,
Man.
fuck.
Sorry, man.
Yeah,
sorry.
Man,
Yeah,
that's bad news for a lot of people. So, because ain't much that could stop that. Like, period. If what we've seen in My Hero, there are not many things that could stop that 5-6 core right there.
Yep,
and that's not even counting the people in the Liberation Front. So, yeah, it's gonna be Horikoshi. I love you, but I'm scared.
The one thing I want to ask, what did you guys think of Dabi telling Tokiyami that these pros that you look up so much to, their hands are dirtier than ours? Like,
I mean, sometimes you have to
having
do what...
Tokiyami.
Well, I mean, what we said right before we started, perspective.
Yeah,
it's
literally
all about
perspective.
perspective.
I'm just gonna
really.
from his perspective, like the heroes are evil.
but
Mhm.
then
They decide what's right, what's wrong,
Exactly.
who's bad, who's wrong. Like
Mhm. Mhm.
But then what I was gonna say is because that kind of goes back to what Ray says that Tokiyama cannot think on his own right now because once he heard that from Dabi, he even questioned it like, hey Hawks, you're good, right? Like once he left, he even told it to himself and to Hawks, you're good and everything. I know
You
the
know
way
what I
you're going
want?
is great.
And we've talked about this. There are 2 arcs that I want. I want the prison break, and I want the Civil War. I want
Yes,
the
you do.
Civil War real bad.
I see it happening now.
I think
with you on that
Horikoshi
one.
I
could
see
do
it
an
more now with
incredible.
this.
I think he could do an incredible Civil War arc amongst the heroes, especially with the Liberation Front, like being out there doing their own thing. Man,
With
because
this,
what if they form their own hero division, like the anti-hero division? You know, man, that could be so good.
With this conversation and to see that people don't agree or have their own way, I see this happening more and more as a possibility with race theory of its civil war.
Like,
I mean, it could go a few different ways, and they're all really interesting when I think about them.
Mm-hmm.
sure, and I know that Tsukiyomi has no idea like what to do at this point and to
He's
think
a
for
kid.
himself, but
Mhm.
at least he knows where he can see. He needs to see everybody's perspective and their own sides of what is good, what is bad, the justice and not. And yeah, he might have believed that Hawks did kill twice, but he pretty much think he has to have a reason. He's the hero. There has to be some sort of reason that he had to do what he had to do.
But I mean,
And
that
proof.
is all he knows.
Yeah.
And at this point, now that he's seen it and somebody told him, I hope that this kind of creates a conflict in this character. I really do.
That means that tape recorder that Hawks had is just going to be a very important tool item.
Let's hope that
just in
it's still
everything.
intact.
Because remember, Hawks was burned alive almost, so it's something
Yeah.
that definitely
You don't need to record it, but you just need the tape or the memory card. or SD
We don't know
card.
if he dropped it or if it's broken or what, but we don't know. So,
And
I mean,
Hawks
they'll
and
probably
Hawks
do
needs to speak to say, I know Dabi's real identity. We need to hear that.
I
Oh, that's
don't
very
know. I guess
true.
I don't think he could tell
Oh, wow, you're
Tokuyama that though, because
true.
that would make him a target.
Yeah.
He don't want him to be a target.
Yeah.
So
But
But then if he had that recorded, that means like anything proof and everything the talk
we'll
between
see.
both
He's
of
in
them.
he's in bad shape, and they
Yeah.
confirmed that in this chapter. That Hawks is in bad shape. He has to get him to basically medical attention now.
Yeah.
So,
Dude, verbatim, Dark Shadow said his back is gone.
mhm.
Can you imagine how burnt he must be? Like, it's
Mhm.
insane.
It could be very
Mhm.
bad where his wings cannot recover. Like
Potentially.
yeah,
And
his
he said,
wings-
just don't say that. Like, hey, his back is gone. Like, wait, damn. Like, just don't say that. Let's try to be positive. Let's try to be optimistic.
This is not
He
the
said-
time to be panicking right now. We just need to be calm and have a plan and get the hell out of here. We'll panic
Yeah.
once we're in safety.
And he might be
shall
done for
see.
now, and maybe Eerie reverses it if he survives. Who
We'll
knows?
see. I don't know. I've
Ooh.
had some weird thoughts, like some weird theories about Eerie, and I honestly don't think that's a quirk that Shigaraki wants.
Nope. He doesn't care. He would rather just get rid of her more than
Nope.
just
He wants the quirk.
having a
That's how it
chance of
works
giving
now.
it, yeah.
He's all for one now. That's how it works now, Sam. He could use that quirk.
He wants all.
He wants it.
He
If
wants
he-
all.
But it seems like there's not enough information about it where like
He's got plenty of information. She can literally reverse
We want time. He
for
went-
people and things.
Wait,
That's why our man, Overhaul kept her, and that's why Deku went one for all, 100%, literally almost 6 times.
Mhm.
Yeah. I'm not saying that this is happening at all.
No, it's a
but
theory.
It would be
No, it's a
no,
theory. This
what
is
I'm
all
about
theory.
to what I'm about to say.
Oh,
but
okay.
it would be crazy if Shigaraki kidnapped Eerie and used Eerie to reverse All for One during a prison break. Well, not during a prison break, but after a prison break, reversing All for One to his prime age and power. Like, I don't think that's actually going to happen, but I
The
just
thing
thought
is
of it, and that would be
Interesting.
insane.
That's an interesting one.
because like
Interesting.
we've had theories before. We think that Shigaraki is going to be going to the prison to kill All for One to take his hyper regeneration, but now that theory kind of went out the window. So when we figured out that the All for One quirk,
I mean, the
original
doctor could
quirk,
just duplicate that
to-
quirk again.
Mhm, mhm.
true,
So there
but
would be
then-
no need to kill him.
But then apparently the copies and clones of that quirk it just can't beat the original quirk of All for One. And now Shigaraki has it. He doesn't necessarily need the hyper regeneration from All For One. He could just get it from himself.
I mean, and we, like I said, and we've talked about this before. We're still not sure how All For One works now that it's been transferred.
Yeah.
Is it like, One For All where it has the quirks in it and he gets to keep those, or does he have to do it again himself?
Yeah.
I don't know.
We talked about it before. Just like Nine didn't get All For One's previous abilities. He had to go out and get his own. So that's how I think it's going to happen, but it doesn't matter. It could go either way, and it would still be cool.
I'm thinking like maybe like All For One can feel the same way if with his quirk, even with the copy of his All For One quirk, he can feel the original like person who holds the All For One quirk from Shigaraki. Like he knows like something's happening because he can feel it. Because there's got to be at least like a small sample copy from the original quirk where you can still transmit from him.
I see what you mean. It could be like One For All where they're still somewhat connected. So
right. I would assume that it is connected because it is a copy of the exact same quirk. So, I mean, he's the originator of the quirk. I would think it would be the same. I think so.
Yeah, I can see that.
But I don't know. It's real interesting. My hero, I'm not gonna lie, my hero continues to get better, just slowly, but continues to get better and better every chapter.
We know this is downhill right now. This is the start of downhill.
I don't think so.
The heroes,
I don't know. I think we still have a way to climb still. I think.
Yeah. I mean, we still need to see Deku, Bakugo, Todoroki. They still need to have their moment, and then from there, I think it's gonna go to shit.
I agree.
All right, so let's see.
I think that's where the turns. I feel like when Shigaraki actually gets up and is like conscious, because it's going to take him some time to wake up. We know this. That's when it's bad.
I feel like with Deku and Bakugo in the group, they're the escape plan kind of thing. Like they're forced to be counted on to help the heroes retreat from the area.
I don't think so. I think they're support characters for the people, like the people.
Yeah.
Because
we'll see.
Because Ray's right. We saw them last week taking care of people to get out of the city, and then with Deku, Bakugo grabbing all people, and we also hear Bakugo telling "Hey, don't grab me." So stuff like that. Like he kept telling people, like there's a support group to get the people.
I still just don't see how these kids are gonna survive. I just don't see it. They literally can't do anything right now against what we've seen.
This is the work study. This is when they realize what it actually takes and what it entails to be a hero.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like these kids have been time and time again have been tried.
This is called real life.
Like they have been in this class has been in so many life or death situations. It's ridiculous. Yeah. And so I'm like, I mean,
but now it's not just their lives.
Exactly. Now it's other people. I mean, so we'll see how it goes. Yeah. But hey, final thoughts on the chapter.
I'm good.
It was okay. It was good. It's just last chapter was just so very, very good. It was okay to it didn't need to be the same momentum. It was like let's calm down a little bit before we have to get another peak hype chapter again, sort of thing from it.
For me, I enjoyed the chapter very much. It was entertaining. I love to see Tokiyami up there, show some brightness in him, and some bootylicious falling off the sky. It was amazing. I was just enjoying have some ass cheeks clapping them on my face. It was very good.
I got what I wanted from this chapter. I wanted to know what happened to Hawks and Tokiyami. I wanted to know what was going on with Dabai. I wanted to know what was going on with Giga. I wanted to know all of these things. This chapter gave me some of those answers, and we'll find out later on what's happening. So I had a good time with this chapter. I liked it.
Yeah. Great. I thought this was a great chapter. My favorite part is the last two panels. Makia standing up. That's a game changer. So I can't wait to see what happens next time. And if you can't wait to see what happens next time, comment down below. I know that you guys love to kind of pick apart what we talk about and add things to what we say. And we love that. We keep the conversation going because we don't know everything. These are just guesses on our part. If you have a better guess, put it down in the comment section below. If you like what you saw here and you want more My Hero Academia content, you better like this video because, I mean, why not? You get more of My Hero fans here to talk with you. We get more amazing conversations. Who knows? Maybe we might one day have some voice actors from the actual anime here on this show with us, potentially. And if you want to see that, you got to subscribe and hit the notification bell because you won't see it if you don't do it. So again, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next chapter. Until then, peace.